Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. This is fine. So, patch 1.13, I think it's called, of, I'm so tired, what's the name of this game? Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, there you go, perfect timing, has just released, and it has dealt with some issues and created new ones the way you do in early access. And one of the things that it has done is make the war for your kingdom, the infamous plot. It's ridiculous. Everybody just declares war on you because they can. It's delightful. I love facing off against 800-man armies with less than 200 troops. Thanks for asking. I especially love the fact that when one nation is done sending 3,000 enemy soldiers into my land, the next two are already there. Because that's how game balance works, right? But it helps that I'm playing on easy, and it helps that I have lots and lots of dinars, although the cost for making peace has been raised. If you saw my last video, apparently I'm not the only one that noticed. That was pretty easy to take advantage of. So now the cost of making peace with a belligerent nation? Somewhere in the range of 300,000 dinars, which is a fairly hefty sum by anyone's standard. And every nation has declared war on me in short succession. And they don't really have a vested interest in making peace with me either. It's pretty ridiculous. I'd rather have a little bit more of a laid-back experience while playing this game. Thank you very much. But it does give me the opportunity to be forced into engaging in these 4-to-1 versus an army. Oh, that was just beautiful. It's all skill, no luck, I tell you. But these engagements are pretty ridiculous. Another thing that seems a little bit odd is the whole shambling Walking Dead infantry formation. Instead of charging in, they just kind of slowly walk, even slower when the frames start to chunk. The game has seen some optimization that is noticeable, but it has also seen some not optimization that is also very noticeable. It doesn't help that I'm listening to Joe Rogan in the background because I had a very long day today, and I didn't feel like just sitting and playing this game in silence. I wanted to fill my brain up with some random ideas as well. So here we have it. Anyway, I did mention that it's been a long day. My wife's car broke down, and our mechanic is not talking to us right now. I don't know what the deal is, but he's probably busy. Now, there's a lot going on for a lot of people, especially small businesses right now, so that's that. But that means that we only have one vehicle, the fantastic 4Runner, and that is what my wife is taking to work. So I had a doctor's appointment across town, and I live in a small town, so it's not all that far across town. But I loaded up the girls into the wagon. We have a, what's the brand? It's like the brand that every good wagon is in US. I can't remember the name of it. Radio Flyer, I think. But I loaded the girls into the Radio Flyer, which is a delightful little wagon. It's made out of plastic. It's got nice big chunky pieces that don't rattle around. Good large wheels. It's a nice wagon. And really comfortable. It's got little padded seats for the girls, and they were like sprawled out in there, just like you got baby Zoe just cooing and checking everything out, and Brooklyn, is steering from the rear. And they had Lammy, and I had the diaper bag in there with them, and we went to Dune's Family Health Clinic to get baby Zoe some shots. She had 4 immunizations today, so that's pretty wild. It's kind of crazy that even in a time like this, you hear things from anti-vaxxers, and it's just like, you know what? Now is really not the time. But she's up to date on her vaccines. She took 4 shots like a champ. Most of these enemies only take 1 or 2. But you had 2 nurses with 2 needles each. One of them each sticking a needle into her fat little thighs. Oh my gosh. She was like, what the heck is going on? I don't trust you. And, they were like, hold her hands, give her something to bite on. No, okay, I made up the last part. But baby Zoe was so strong. She yelled at the nurses when they were poking her with the needles. When they actually did poke her, she wasn't afraid before then. And then she was like, what the heck? Like, hey, that's not what friends do. Friends don't poke friends with needles, guys. Yet she stopped crying after literally 10 seconds. I was like, wow, what a strong girl. I'm so proud of her. I am raising very powerful girls, and they're gonna be so strong and so reliable and so reasonable. Just you wait. I'm gonna teach them the good stuff, and also teach them to be nice, because they're gonna be so strong. And when you are ridiculously overpowered, the way that my big Chungus is here. What's his name? I can't. Big Dave. That's right. He's as tall as Vanilla can be. A Sturgian lad with a big honkin' oversized sword that's custom made. It's sort of a maximum length version of the War Razor with a heavy weight to it that gives it, as you see, some very hefty blows, capable of cutting through multiple low-tier infantry in a single swing, which, as you see, is very helpful. I kind of hate how the enemy shields are sort of magic. They seem to block attacks that should get through, especially anything even close to their side or front. It seems like their shields block more than mine does. But you know what? We're still getting the job done. And this, as you can tell, is an insane battle. The strategy has run out, and now it's just frantic support for my guys. We're an archer-heavy army at this point, generally having about 2 to 1 archers versus solid infantry line has worked fairly well for me, using the Sturgians and picking up prisoners from wherever I can, because Big Dave here is actually a rather charismatic lad, in addition to being a heckin' honkin' chungus, as you can see with the incredible amount of damage he's been dealing personally. I think we're gonna get I don't know, we're gonna get lots of kills in this one, but there's still more to be done. The sheer numbers of enemy soldiers are staggering in this battle. Now, thankfully, we have a very experienced army of around 200 dudes. Again, we're playing on a rather easy difficulty, with our personal damage taken reduced to 1/3, and damage taken to our soldiers reduced to 2/3. And again, that's just how I like to play. You can see this game is ridiculous in terms of balance, And speaking of balance, I have to balance out my daily life while playing this game, and that was actually a fairly long pause, as I believe I was checking on the noodles. I made some delicious spaghetti for my wife. Well, it would have been delicious. We used ragu for the sauce, and ragu is just like, it's so watered down that it drips and it runs the way that sauce really shouldn't, and I had to do a lot to try and put some flavor into it. It didn't turn out fantastically well. I'm not convinced there are actually tomatoes in ragu spaghetti sauce, but it did turn out great. I just had to do lots of things to the sauce to make it work. One of my tricks is to pan fry the spaghetti sauce onto the noodles. So it's like a stir fry, basically, with spaghetti sauce and noodles, and that turned out fairly well. And I got a container of that ready for my precious wifey, who's super pregnant and super tired, and that's that. So I walked across town and back, and dragging the girls. That was like 40 minutes both ways, and we saw some Power Rangers on the way to the clinic. Those would be people wearing masks, just so you know. Still, most of the people in my town don't wear masks when we go out, just because, I mean, there's nobody out here. You don't even get close to people most of the time, so I suppose that's why nobody wears a mask, even in the grocery store. But, I mean, I haven't been out of the house very much. I should probably get some. My wife has one or more, and Brooklyn wants to be a Power Ranger now, so I'll probably have to get her a Power Ranger mask. Anyway, that was cheesing my way through a ridiculous battle at a ridiculous point in the development of this game. Balance? No. Balance your weapons, because the combat is definitely not a smooth experience, and yet I've been having a blast. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, there's a link to the Discord where you can find a bunch of people that love War Thunder and each other. We're all friends here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.